Hello and welcome to another episode of Malt Magic and More. I'm not going to lie to you, my brain is mush. There were so many truth bombs and nuggets coming at me on that last session, I ain't got a fucking clue what's happening. Let's get rolling.
Oh.
Before we get into stuff, I just realized on that intro how much my facial hair varies. I can't keep this. Like this one was like really bushy, and then it's just.
I think we can slowly track the hair growth for everyone there. Like Dave's lost a lot since.
Yeah, I was about to say I've actually managed to get a haircut
and a lot of greys. And Danny's is actually miraculously not differed.
I get. My beard's a little bit changed. It depends on the level of growth, whether it's I've shaved my head and my beard or not. I usually do them both at the same time.
Well, welcome to Malt Magic and More, where we talk about facial hair.
True.
But wow, some
session.
What a
session!
session!
Back in science. I literally
Can I just say
more notes tonight than I did in my university dissertation.
In a short time.
All I can say is hats off to all three of you. Because RP-wise, I could not ask any more as a DM. You throw absolutely everything into it, and it makes my job so much easier. So thank you, because it's amazing. I can just literally just reel off shit and you're straight in there.
Even when me and Dave kill the serious bits.
I think sometimes it's needed though, because like we go down this deep dark hole of this is serious, and then somebody makes a wisecrack. It's brilliant.
There was a moment I was going to wisecrack, but then it passed. I was like, damn it, that would have been a really good moment.
I missed my opportunity.
It was when she was saying. Sorry, it was when she was saying like, your trials. You shouldn't be. We shouldn't be kind of. Sad about your trials, everything you've done was right, and I was just like, well, yeah, some of us sometimes go into towers, but that's
yeah. When she was like, you've done everything for the greater good, I was like, I don't think I have, but yeah, I'm none of that.
Yeah, but thankfully we did manage to make a funny joke out of that one anyway.
Yeah.
I have to say that was one of those ones where actually, and I'm also glad, and I'll point this out now. I had a quick chat with Danny and Matt beforehand, and it was about why is Dargon here? Because I was saying that actually for the past week I've been trying to think out why. Right? What's the background to all of that? Not background. We know that they were pulled through. Why is he not just sitting in the tavern smoking cigars? Right, and so it was really interesting to actually discuss that, and actually therefore bring that out in this episode, like almost one of the perfect episodes to actually go, have we actually realised that we have just been sheep until now? I feel, and actually it's been really interesting.
Don't drop me a nugget like that and not expect me to follow through with it.
You friggin' did though, but that was it. That was what was great. Was actually I was really into it. I'm like, this is why. This is why they're here, and it was just brilliant. That actually it was such a great thing to be actually to actually expand on the inner thoughts, the inner personality as to what's actually driving certainly Dargon, and obviously hopefully the other two. Whether or not
I think it's an
you guys find that
for DMs as well is that if players think and start to like, well, why is my character doing this? Then maybe they've started to miss the point a bit, and trying to bring that back, because ultimately the game should be about the players and their choices, what they're doing. And if Dargon and Dave, you begin to feel that Dargon as a character, why is he doing this? Maybe he's better off suited back in the tavern, and it's my job as a DM to sit there and think that's not right. I need to try and pull that, but not that I had to, because
as I say, I mean, I see where you're coming from a DM point of view to do that, but also I would never put that on you. I would never go, you need to tell me why I'm here, because that's part of character development.
Sorry, maybe maybe we're misunderstanding each other there, but what I mean is players, there will be elements of character development where they think, is this really what I should be doing? And I think that's slightly different from what I'm saying here, is more than if a player sits there and think, why would my character care? Then I think the DM's probably lost that character a little bit.
No, because actually I think that potentially it's like, well, actually, why should he care? Actually, why doesn't Dargon just go on a rampage? Why does he not just go, fuck this shit, I'm out, right, and cause a massive havoc? But actually it was really interesting because it was going down that route, right? Why? But then, with all the other things that I've been looking into with the backstory and with, you know, certain changes that's happened recently, it's actually really interesting to go, you know, to actually follow those particular threads and actually draw a line in the sand and go, I'm not just a mercenary. I'm not just a lonesome figure who has lost everything and therefore is just going to go in and fight everything. No, why? And to continually ask that question, why, this week has been wonderful, certainly for me.
I mean, it's the same for Andrew as well. I could have quite easily stayed in the lighthouse, made that my Thieves Guild after a buyer left, rebuilt it, and ruled the seedy streets of Seamead. I could have done that. At any point, I could have skulked off somewhere. But what's drawing Andrew in is the fact that he doesn't know who his family is, and this is the only way he will find that out.
The
sense that he's been used his whole life, so it would be nice for him to stop other people who are being used, if that makes sense.
The turning point was knowing more about Tim AL, even though we have almost learnt nothing else. That was just a sort of a different
reaffirmation
perspective
of it.
Yeah, a different perspective put on it. Just something different that just went, right, something's clicked here. Because honestly, there could have been a point when, and with Weapon Bond, I believe I could have done this, could have summoned a hand axe or a warhammer to that chamber, and all fucking hell would have broken loose. And it wouldn't have been past Dargon to have done that before certain changes.
I've also started to think that a buyer is a bigger chess piece than we thought he was. And do you think he's a puppet of the Eladrin?
Yes, yeah, but if he did, he was a fool to let go of Dawnbringer, which Dargon will certainly want to bring up if we ever meet in the future. But yeah, very, very much so. And yeah.
Or is he just a stupid thief who stole something he shouldn't have?
Yeah. True.
So we've got, Irandriel is the father of the Grand Magister Lena and the brother of the distiller.
Yep.
And there's also, he had a son who is dead. And that's it.
Right, we didn't ask this in the time. I did come across my mind, but I didn't do anything with it, and that is the three brothers. I'm probably wrong in this one, but what if one of them was Elvish and is connected to the current royal heir that we are currently talking about, their family tree?
So
discuss.
The one who was from my notes, now Matt will tell me if I'm wrong, the King of Shiverspire is my biological relative. The other two brothers aren't my actual relative.
Ramado from Shiverspire was the gods, and it was the one true son.
Yeah, so that's
Reardon, or however you say it, King Phaliad, and that's the Fae. We've got Ramado King killed by Timael, so that's my connection there.
So Timael killed the one true son,
or however you say it, Black City, and then the connection to Hell.
So what I was going to say, because if you had told me about your dream I was going to ask, do you think the Eladrin is the puppet of the red devil black horned dude?
It certainly seems like he's clearly another chess piece on the board, but whether he is above or below the Eladrin, and as you say, it's likely that it's above. However,
it's something I'd thought of as well halfway through that. which, if true, I'm gonna even hate that guy even more. But when we were in the cave, where we found about the king,
Yes.
there was a body there of, I believe, it was an elven individual. I will have to go double check, but I think it was.
Oh, there was another tomb in there.
No,
no.
like the
guy
body
that
that you threw in the water.
Well.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
And I think
I desecrated my brother's corpse.
I think he was next to a spellbook, which then we just willingly gave to Ethereal because we thought it was Ethereal's, but maybe it wasn't.
And that could be one of the artifacts that helps Phaliad. Oh, shite.
I listened to that episode yesterday, by the way. So yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to
and
ask.
Still, that moment makes me chuckle.
I wanted to ask Lena, like, what kind of, but then she quite rightly, she was really touchy about the subject. So Kirik, with his high insight, wouldn't ask. But Simone, really wanted to ask, like, what weaponry did your brother use? Like, was he more of a fighter or more of a wizardry type? Because that was like, that came to my mind, and I was like, balls. That was the thing that popped. But then I couldn't remember if he was elven, but I think he was. He was. Yeah. I had a vague recollection of him being elvish.
In that cave, elven.
I think that sword's coming back to haunt us, guys. And not just Ander.
Sword.
Your sword.
Regretting giving the sword to the distiller now.
Oh!
I knew it would as well. I knew it would. As soon as I gave it, I was like, gonna have to give it to someone, but this is definitely the type of thing that comes to bite us in the ass.
And also, I now also fear that we went to Ironforge, and Timiel said, be wary of that sword, or be careful of that sword, or get rid of that sword. And I can't remember whether I asked, okay, well, I know I didn't ask this, and that was, tell me everything you know about this sword. Because again, back then it was like, ooh, mysterious. Whereas like, I think now I and Darkon would be like, what do you know about it?
Well, when they said buy a stolen artifact, I had a look at all of my equipment to see if there was anything weird in there. And the only thing weird was the keys. One of them was Wrathstrike, but I've got another one now because I lost that one.
Yeah.
And everything else was just jewels and shit. There's nothing else weird in my equipment. So, have you guys got anything weird in your equipment? Apart from the tiefling skull. I've got the tiefling skull from that cave.
Yeah.
Is that an artifact?
Yes.
Not that cave.
Well, not that cave.
Oh,
it was from the cave that Kirik
tiefling
arrived
skull came from episode 0.
Yeah.
As in the episode before we streamed.
It was from the cave in the well before Kirik arrived. Anyway, I happen to still have
almost got absolutely obliterated by a scythe trap.
Yes, we did.
If it's a tiefling skull, is it A, that horned dude you had a dream about, or
no,
potentially the Blender's husband?
No, I think the Blender's husband is in the Isle.
Yeah.
I think the Blender's husband is in the Isle.
Is it? I thought it was a crystal skull, but I probably just
it's a
mixing my movies and
tiefling skull.
Okay.
Black tiefling skull without the horns.
Right.
As I finished the piece of chocolate I was eating. Yes.
Still have a. Well, it's probably not frozen anymore because we know that bags of holding don't hold things in status. I had a frozen white orb that was magical, and it was from Zapanir's sort of tomb, and it's probably active in the bag of holding, probably.
Pocket dimension, mate. I think there's a DM's tip there.
Yeah, you know what I
totally
mean.
beyond.
You know what I mean. I'm just laughing.
Get it out next week though. See what happens.
Oh, of course. It's just going to be a welter of,
Just
you know.
tip your bag
Do you know
out.
what? I'm also very, very grateful that you didn't say, does anyone want to do anything, before we go to bed tonight? Because I'm like, no, I'm too friggin' tired and I need a pee because I desperately want to do something before I go to bed, and Ice is not waiting.
I figured we'd got to the point there was too many questions. I was like, we need to end it here, or
Yeah,
we'd go
there's-
until 6 a.m. tomorrow
There's
morning.
going to be a yes. Wow.
Do you guys want to know something funny about the sword that I just clocked because I'm looking at my notes?
Yes, because you did your legend lore on it. Go on.
No.
Here's what Matt said.
Yeah.
Once the blade of a fiend.
Oh
Right?
fuck.
Starting
Yes.
off well.
Right, Pit
Yep.
Fiend is exactly what he described in my dream. I just didn't want to fucking say it.
Connected to the Shadowfell.
No.
Belonged to a banished wizard. Blade seeks blood to emerge the fiend within.
Oh, there's a
almost
fiend
like I
in
planned
the
this shit,
sword, and it came from
Yeah.
that fucking plane that we just ran
Yeah.
away from. And it's
Yeah.
probably where there is someone connected to the Dark Eladrin, which I just had a dream about.
The thing
I'm
guarded by the Darakul.
It could
On
be
the
the
island.
Darakul.
See, I
That
think
pit in the
this
middle
is
of the
the
Isle of
thing.
the Dead.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
that because I think that wasn't confirmed, but I think that's a portal to the Shadowfell.
I think you're pretty
Because-
close.
Well, it was
It's either that or
confirmed
one
as-
of the.
They go
So I'm
to
thinking there's like-
the,
I'm thinking
the
there's a
plane of
portal to the
shadows. The
Shadowfell.
vampires called it. They called
Yeah.
it the plane of shadows.
Yeah, so it'll be Shadowfell.
Yeah.
It won't be one of the levels of hell. One of this the like what are
No,
they called?
that's
Go on.
that'll be
The
you got
nine
the
hells.
city. You got the
Avernus.
yeah, because you got the city
Avernus
of
is-
Dis.
is one
9
second.
of them.
Yeah, you got the city
Yeah.
of Dis. You've got I can't remember them, but yeah.
I think that's going to be in the Black City though.
Oh,
Black City's
so
going to be a portal
I-
there.
So, just so I can join the dots to what you said. So do you think the fiend is the guy from Dargon's dream or not?
yes. I think that's what it is personally, because the way that Matt described him with the horns and being a big well, again, I know that I have a habit of this, but I'm sure that you talked about it being a big creature and it being big horns,
Red
and
skin, long black
red
hair,
skin.
black
Yeah,
horns
and
and
I
tail.
just
Yeah,
that to me was Pit Fiend, and I probably stopped listening at that
definitely.
point.
Yeah, it's definitely a devil of some kind.
Go
Yeah.
check
Or
out the
demon.
podcast to figure that one out.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hey, nice plug there. Well done. Hashtag link in bio. But what about if the distiller gets cursed by the sword when she's having a
I don't
look at
know.
it?
She's weird. She's a wizard. Wizards are always looking for more power. It's weird.
And corrupt and was the owner of the sword was owned by a dark wizard or something. You just said it. in
Yeah,
that legend lore?
banished wizard, or was forged by a banished wizard. I can't.
Forged by a
remember
banished
that.
wizard.
I
So
have to go back to
oh
that.
man, you've got that. You've
Is
got
the
connection to
banished
family.
wizard ethereal?
That's my thinking.
Are you
That's-
frigging kidding
That's
me?
my thinking.
Oh,
I think
How we give him the book?
I never
That's
trusted
potentially an
Ethereal
artifact.
from day one, and I'm like now
Is-
more than ever. I'm
is-
like this guy is bad news.
Is the
I
sword
love
one of
these
the
bits.
artifacts?
This is like the best bit ever.
Yeah, it's great.
Is the sword one of the artifacts and the book and whatever Abaya stole?
I
Is that
don't.
the three artifacts?
Okay,
Yeah, I
but
don't know.
sorry,
No.
going back to we're talking about fiends, and we're talking about the but you've got that there is a fiend stuck in this sword, but also I think it's a pit fiend or some sort of creature like that is some sort of thing that was in my dream that is above the Dark Eladrin, which we don't know about who or what that is at the moment. So that now seems to be sort of rolling round into like too many fiends or pit fiends in too many locations, if that makes sense.
God.
Well, that's because I think whoever is doing this, my theory was the Eladrin, but now it kind of is becoming evidently clear that the Eladrin is just someone
He's
that
a
is
puppet-
working for
He's a puppet like us.
someone else.
He's on the same
I-
train as us, just on the other side of the coin.
I think whoever it is kind of getting an army ready.
Yes.
Because of the
Because
green
it's
flower
like-
good guys.
Yeah, green flower. So I'm thinking like they go from green. They have undead from green flower. Then they just summon whatever they want to summon from Shadowfell. Summon whatever they want to summon from the Feywild.
They bring
think
back a
there's, like-
undead dragon.
I think there's like representatives of like of stuff of like the different planes, because like Eladrin comes from the Feywild, right? And then the vampires come from the Shadowfell. Cool.
Yeah.
Demons will come from the Abyss or whatever they come from.
Yeah.
It's not looking great, guys. It's not looking great.
Where does that dragon fit in?
Dragons are
Distraction.
just dragons, man. They can just do
Again,
whatever they
yes,
want.
you're right. Distraction.
Distraction.
Yeah.
I've just remembered the fucking Malt Masters have stolen an artifact, so we need to find out what that is.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Why are we suddenly back to not
Balls.
trust? Well, I'm not suddenly back to not trusting the Malt Masters.
They won us round when they made us
The
lieutenants.
DM's a
but,
dick.
Yeah. All right.
yeah,
No.
They made us lieutenants and they reeled us in.
We went for a pee. When was it halfway through or whatever it was, or whether you told us afterwards? But I swear I was there, and I'm like, right, hang on a minute. They just made us lieutenants just to shut us up, and I'm suddenly back to full on conspiracy. Like they're like, oh shit, hang on a minute, we better give them some good stuff.
They're actually the Umbrella Corp from Resident Evil.
I thought
Crazy
you
times.
said Umbrella
Yeah.
Academy then. I was like, that's a whole different show.
Oh god, I'm so confused.
At some point, we're going to have to discuss One Division as a group, by the way. Not on this show, but let's just leave that out there.
Yeah. It won't be a surprise to you guys that next week the first thing I want to do is sit down, pray to Tim AL, first to apologise, but also to ask a fuck ton of questions.
Oh yeah, I'm getting a commune ready after.
I don't have commune, but I have spoken to Tim AL, and I am gonna do my very best to speak to him again.
Yeah.
Lord Arith used to be the Ranger General. He's gone missing. He's gonna have some goodies in his house, isn't he?
Used to be Ranger General. Now Ranger General is besties with the what do you call that?
Okay,
Queen?
Grand Magister.
Grand Magister, but
Grand Magister.
but again, you know, whatever the version that is.
But then there's that. But then Erendriel, or whatever his name is still alive.
Erendriel is still alive.
As far as we
Yeah.
know.
Wait, Erendriel
he's gonna have
is
The dad of Lena. Lena's dad.
right. Who's probably
Deluin.
he was in the other
Yeah.
city, or just missing?
Leader of Deluin. Yeah. Is Deluin
No,
the
I
only
think
place that
he's-
doesn't have a Raven Queen temple?
No,
I can't
that would be.
remember. Oh, it was-
Hang on.
One of them doesn't, and it might be
Eticus.
River's End.
No, there was
yeah,
one in
River's
River's
End,
End. I think the only one that doesn't have one is in.
Eticus?
Ian Carrick's now.
That's for the orcs.
I will have it somewhere. The 12, so it was before this.
So what?
Oh, Deliwyn, yeah.
So what? Yeah. Boom! Pluck that out, man.
Deliwyn's the other
So,
the only one that doesn't.
There's going to
have
be
one.
some cool shit in the house. There's going to be either weapons or magical items or something good.
And traps.
Also, I've got another Wrath Strike. No, it won't be traps because it only reveals itself to somebody who can have it. So it won't be then trapped again, would it?
Yeah, and there's going to be faulty traps that have gone wrong.
Well,
'Cause-
I'll send you in first.
Because him on the right is laughing his head off. Left, depending on which way you look at this.
Also,
It was,
I've got
it
another
was
Wrath
the
Strike
old,
key.
No, I've got the deeds. Of course it's not trapped.
I was like,
No, I've got lesser. I've
yeah,
got lesser
no.
restoration. We're fine.
So my last Wrath Strike key disappeared when we opened that door to the tunnel under the lighthouse that we never went down, where a buyer probably escaped to, and now we've realised a buyer is probably more important than we thought. Should have gone down that pipe.
yeah, and we wouldn't have found
Literally.
anything, and we wouldn't have, you know, we wouldn't have won if we'd have got anything.
I thought you'd have known by now, Danny. Make use of every pipe you've got.
We
Yeah, well, yeah. If you've got permission to go in, stick it in.
You made that so much worse than I was even angling for.
Yep. Oh my god. I really don't know what to do next week.
Oh, it's a good one.
My work here is done.
I'm going to spend an hour just walking around the house looking in drawers. While you
Let's
two
just
talk to
stay.
gods.
Let's just make. We'll just make a house here. We'll be fine.
Oh,
That'll
what happens?
be the end of the campaign.
Because of that hero's feast. What happens?
Heroes Feast. You're
Well,
immune
it's a
to
hero's feast.
immune to poison. You can't immune to fear. You get a certain 2d10 worth of hit points.
Well, let's go to Black City
took
really
the
quick
hour
then,
to
while we're
consume
listening
it.
to everything.
Yeah, it took the hour.
And
yeah.
it then disappeared. Up to 12 creatures. You are cured of all diseases and poison.
Nice.
Lycanthropy does not count.
Good.
You become immune
That'd
to
been
poison
funny.
and being frightened
That's the one.
for the next 24 hours.
Nice.
All wisdom saving throws are
was
now
it.
cast with advantage.
That's the one.
Your hit point maximum will also now increase by, and I will do this roll on Malt Magic and More,
Nice.
so that we know for next week.
Uh,
Where's my D10s? There's one.
And these are
There's two.
like the max HP modifier things, aren't they?
Yeah,
So
it's
did you
like
say immune
it's
or
8
is
on
it
Your
still
steroids.
maximum
poison?
hit points will increase by 8 points. You also gain 8 hit points.
Nice.
That will last for 24 hours.
Woo.
That's a long time.
Yeah, so
So-
it's past a long rest, which is cool.
8 more hit
It is past
points
a long rest.
I've
Advantage
already put it in.
on wisdom saving throws.
Yeah.
So advantage on wisdom saving throws. Hit point max increases by 8. Which was a really
Immunity to
shit roll,
poison.
actually. Immunity to poison and being frightened.
That's such a good spell.
It is. It's amazing. It
Can't
costs
wait.
1,000 gold.
Oh wait. Yeah.
Well,
I
technically,
could buy
it
11
costs
of
a
them.
gem encrusted bowl worth 1,000
Worth
gold.
1,000 gold. Yeah.
I've got loads of gems. I could glue them on a bowl.
Yeah, keep them. I'm gonna need that when I get.
Yeah.
Gonna need that when I get 6 level spells.
I was also worried.
All I've
when
got
he
an
said
image
an
now
hour.
is Ander every night, just like bowl, stick, stick, stick. Is that worth 1,000?
did-
Yeah, that'll do. Next.
I had loads of random jewels that I used to buy stuff at Mephisto's to get him out of my equipment, and I was like, oh shit, did I give him an artifact? I don't think I did. I gave him a lump of
We haven't-
Earth Strike. That doesn't
We
count
haven't
as an
sold any
artifact,
magic
does it?
items yet.
No,
Yeah,
but I
no,
did give him a
we
block of
need to
Wrath
start
Strike,
thinking
didn't
about
I? Is Mephisto a double agent? I'm questioning everything.
No, not Mephisto. Mephisto's cool.
My work here is definitely done. If you're questioning every character you meet, like, are you a dickhead?
We should ask Lena next
I've done my
session if she
job.
has some diamonds going around.
Yeah.
Hi.
Could we by any chance buy?
Can we please have your diamonds?
I mean,
We have got to search.
I
this-
could have stole
this-
loads of
this
good
house.
stuff from that place. I don't think there will
Well,
be any
if-
traps.
Well, if I need to cast this spell that I basically just promised Lina, I think I need something like 1,000 gold worth of stuff.
Nice.
Yes,
Oh,
at least.
so you'll need to look in my bag of holding then.
What? Go on. What is it?
That'll be hallow. Yeah, herbs, oils, and incense worth at least 1,000 gold,
Whoa!
which the spell consumes.
Hell of a spell as well.
It
Is that
awesome.
hallowed? Is that the, like the
Um,
hallowed ground place where it just literally doesn't let anyone in? That's evil.
You touch
Yeah.
a point and infuse the area around it with holy power. The
Yeah.
area can
Yeah.
have a radius up to 60 feet.
Oh,
60-foot radius, which is insane. And the spell fails if the radius includes an area already under the effect of the Hallow spell. First, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead can't enter the area, nor can
Well, you
such
fucked
creatures
then,
charm.
because there's Genasi that live in there already.
Genasi, I think they count as humanoids.
They're not fae. They're not
Yeah.
fair.
So the Eladrin wouldn't
So
be
they
able to
don't
get
count
in.
they don't count as elementals, no?
Isn't that one of those like it takes
They
12
are, like,
hours to
half
cast?
elemental, half face spawn genasi, aren't they?
12 hours? No,
Okay.
it takes 24 hours to cast
That's
the spell.
the one. 24 hours. I knew it was one of them. Yeah.
I cast the spell and I automatically gain a point of exhaustion because I'm awake for 24 hours
Yeah.
without sleeping.
So by the time you
Literally
cast the
going to have to
spell,
give
Hero's
Kirik
Feast is
and
wore
Davina's
off.
drip.
Yeah. Yeah, if I'm casting this tomorrow, Hero's Feast is going to be going.
Don't cast it
but yeah,
tomorrow.
The thing about the Hallow
so Celestials
spell
Elementals.
is, I was going to say, Samal's only described half of this spell. It gets better.
Yeah.
Oh, it just
not
keeps
even
getting
that.
better.
Such creatures cannot. So the creatures that we just said cannot charm, frighten, or possess creatures within it. So it's great to fight like vampires in because they can't possess you. Any creature charmed, frightened, or possessed by such a creature is no longer charmed, frightened, or possessed upon entering the area. And then you can exclude one or more of those types. Second, you can bind an extra effect to the area. Blah, 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 blah. So, and then, yeah, it just goes to say, like, a bunch of other effects. So there's, like, Courage, which is creatures within the area cannot be frightened. Darkness, which is just filled with the area with darkness. Daylight, which is just bright light. Energy Protection. Affected creatures have resistance to one damage type of your choice. Energy Vulnerability. It's a great, like, it's basically a Batman spell.
So you can
just create a bubble,
illuminate
and
the
it's
whole
like,
thing with light. So if you was
Yeah.
to cast that on the Isle of the Dead,
Oh
you
yeah,
could fill
so
it with
if you were
daylight.
fighting the vampires, you'd put daylight in a 60-foot area, and that's it.
Yeah.
Vampires can't
But-
set foot in, and the minute they do,
the thing is, it takes fucking 24 hours to cast, so it just needs
yeah,
to be.
it's a big spell.
Yeah,
However,
it's
lasts
an
until
ambush
it is
spell.
dispelled.
It lasts until
But
dispelled.
it lasts
which
until
is
it's
crazy.
dispelled. It's not a
What
concentration,
concentration?
Nope.
spell. No. As soon as
So
you
you can just
cast it and
cast
it's
it,
done.
it is there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we could,
Wow.
depending on how big this house is, and if we want to protect it, like just take 24 hours, cast the spell on the house. No one gets in.
That is legitimately a
mate.
good idea.
That is genius.
It's pretty great, but it costs a lot. Like it costs 1,000 gold worth of stuff. It's 24 hours, which means it's basically a day that Kirik doesn't do anything,
Yeah.
or 2 days really.
To be fair, you know, that was one of those ones that I'd go, yeah, sure, but we've done a lot since, and that kind of. I'm by no means D&D poor yet, but that type of thing is out of my range.
Did what I couldn't gather, Doug. I keep saying Doug. I'll call you Dave next. We're in the Malt Magic Law. So I always do it. I can't get out of
Yeah, I'm
calling
the
you by
same.
your character in
I'm
the
the same.
stream to then going into Malt Magic Law and going, "Oh, I'm a real boy again." So when you were talking about we said we were going to go on our path, we keep getting distracted. Were you leaning towards leaving Vraco to his devices and just going to somewhere else for the prophecy?
It was certainly the first time that he had considered doing anything else but go and find Draco.
Because that'd be a kick in the tits. We've just gone to get him, and
Yeah.
if we're going to leave him now,
Now, later on, he did still say that the only person he trusted outside of the room, and I'm going to clarify, and that excludes people on the celestial plane, was Vraco, right? That that maybe you trust Johannes, but it was a confirmation of the fact that as much as we've got some goodies out of the Malt Masters, he still doesn't trust them. He
yeah.
does, however. Hasn't spent long with these guys, but does trust them. He believes the honesty that has been pervaded in the room, and
that's the thing. She
with
didn't
Dargon's
speak in
insight,
riddles, did she?
with Dargon's insight, would very much probably believe them even if they were lying, but doesn't.
Yeah,
Again, Dargon doesn't
Kirik-
believe so.
Yeah, Kirik will tell you that.
Yeah,
she was
and so
just honest
taking lead
as
on
hell.
that one, taking lead on that, and the fact that there was open conversation after being kicked in the leg. Yeah, there was more belief. So it is very much there were more questions than answers, far more questions than we've ever had. No answers yet. Still thinks that it's one of those ones of go and get back the allies that we previously had, because we have only just made a few more.
Were there no more answers?
There was a lot of stuff that was
There was
said.
a lot that went on. I just mean there was a lot more
A
questions.
lot of answers which
There were
opened
huge.
up a lot
Yeah,
more
of course
questions.
there were. Sorry, I'm purely going on the line of what Danny asked. I think it again is that until Dargon speaks to Tim AL, he still doesn't quite know what direction to go, because it was very much we're on, you know, we need to go and you know, rescue Vraco. Now eyes have been opened that may be a trap and or a delay tactic. So there's just more questions to be answered potentially, which could happen, and he didn't want to just suddenly go into prayer in the middle of a you know, a chamber like that. So get out, chill out, ask some questions, sleep on it, and if needs be, bugger off to the Faliad Forest. He hasn't ruled it out yet. He really hasn't. So
I'm
yeah.
really starting to question everything about. Obviously, I created Ander as a character, but I'm starting to question. Right, I'll follow my train of thought. So, one of the true biological king, my true heir, the true biological son of Geth, was the king of Shiverspire. But the only thing we know about Shiverspire is that's where the dwarfs are.
Do we?
But then there's a dwarf clan in Shiverspire. Yeah.
I thought there was a dwarf clan in the tunnel that went under the mountains that we had to get to Shiverspire.
No. Deciding vote, Matthew. He's not going to
We'll
tell us,
have
is
to
he?
wait and fucking see.
Bastard. Right.
So,
okay.
carry on with your thought, though. Carry on with your thought.
There's dwarves in and around there, but so I was like, then that made me think. I'm assuming, because I'm their biological heir, that the kings, well, at least one of them was human, and Girth must have been a human. But is he not actually a human? And yeah, that's what I said in it, Girth.
Also,
And then
DM's hint,
You said good.
go back to that episode we've just played and watch back the bit around when you say Girth and some of the things I say, because I think there was a crucial bit you all missed because of the Girth comment.
Probably. Probably.
Okay, who wants me to bring it up right now?
is Girth human? And then does that mean Ander is a little bit mixed race?
Okay,
Little
hang
bit.
on. Right, so
Is he
right.
like 1/32nd elf or something?
Okay, King Gareth. Anders blood kin to King Gareth via Ramado. The chain of hotels. And I don't have anything else here as to what race was each of them, but I have just assumed they were all human.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, the
It's only
ghost that we
because
saw
I'm
was
human.
human, right?
Sorry?
The ghost that we saw was human in the cave, right?
Yeah.
Well, we assume so.
So
Again,
I think
this
I
is
should go
going
back
back
and
ears.
double check a few episodes,
This is-
because I'm not sure if
This is
you've
going
got
back
some
to
of the brothers
episode
confused.
5 or something.
Say again, Matt.
I don't think we've ever got the brothers' names right. I have
Yeah,
it as
no.
Rachmanus is the king of the Black City, Riordan was Faliad, and Ramado was Shiverspire.
Yeah, that's what I've got.
And he's my dad,
Yeah.
granddad, great-granddad, whatever.
Yeah, that's what I've got.
Good.
Because I had
But if you,
originally I
yeah,
thought
you
my
originally had it the wrong
biological
way
ancestor was
round,
the Faliad one.
but you sorted it in within like 30 seconds, you know, during the stream.
So we need to play back the Girth bit. So we don't think Girth is not a human, and I'm somehow 1/56th elf or something
No,
else.
which is why obviously my theory of the fact that, you know, the royalty that is currently in the, you know, the Elvish community that we have just spoken to is part of it doesn't seem to currently connect But nothing can be ruled out at the moment.
And when I said one of the Brother Kings is not dead, he's just missing, and then you said, Matt, that he lives in you. So of course he's not dead.
He lives in you.
Lion King 2 style.
That's not how I imagined that. I didn't imagine it as a riddle. I thought is one of them's not dead, he's still alive, and we need to find him, rather than he's not dead because I'm alive. So I've misinterpreted that one.
Don't think the characters have quite got the time scale of this all happening yet.
No.
No.
There's a DM's hint for
I think so.
Elves live a couple hundred years, but it's...
Natural elves live a couple of hundred years.
The distiller's old as fuck, remember?
High elves live a lot longer.
Yeah, but the distiller has like the malt masters have weird shit going on.
Yeah, the malt masters have magic that are keeping them young longer.
We're starting to think that the distiller's Voldemort, but is she actually Professor Snape and she's a good guy in the end? Sorry for any spoilers for people who haven't seen Harry Potter.
That is a very good analogy.
If you've not fucking seen Harry Potter at this stage, Jesus.
That is a very good analogy, actually. You know, it could be one that it's like the malt masters are just, I don't know, set in their ways is probably the nicest ways of putting it. Just sort of.
Yeah, because I'm assuming she fell out with her sister or her niece and brother because she joined the malt masters. But is she actually trying to get him from the inside?
Yeah, and also another thing that has also already crossed Dargon's mind is, can we hear the other side of the story, please? Right?
Yeah.
Because as much as it's like we believe this side, you can believe both sides, sympathise with both sides, and still see that both sides were wrong, right? And that's what I find really interesting. That actually that's what we want to see.
Is it like why did they take the item?
Yeah.
If it was an item, what was it? Was it a loved one?
Should we just pull the plaster off and go straight to the Black City? Fuck it, let's go for it.
TPK. No,
we've got an extra 8 hit points. We'll be fine.
Exactly.
We're invincible.
I love that. Of the 20 hit points you could have got,
8. Oh, to be fair, I've seen someone roll 2.
Oof.
Yeah, that hurts. That hurts with Hero's Feast. That really hurts.
Oh man, that's why I'm so glad that like 8 is not rolling. It's just like, yeah, it's this amount. It scales every time.
Yeah.
It scales by spell slot.
Yeah.
Done. It's like, cool. It's great. Oh man.
So maybe we need to get the distiller on her own and chat to her outside with everyone else. Unless she is actually the bad guy, and in which case we shouldn't do that.
Yeah. It's again one of those ones of like, they really don't seem to lend themselves to being chatty. So at what point do we just consider them hostile? You know, and I know that we've already gone through that route of, you know, they've gone, oh, well, you know, we trust on both sides. We realise that we've done bad here. But again, suddenly we hear more about how they are just not trustworthy.
But the thing is, though, it's only because you never knew
devil's
what
advocate
questions...
and a deliberate DM dickhead. The question is why.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because then we're going to go back to them and we're going to be like, why the fuck did you take the item and you didn't tell us? And they're going to be like, well, you never asked us.
Well, either you never asked, or
or
we never thought you were going to do that, or we never thought you'd know, or it's above your pay grade. But again, you know, do we then also go, where's Line Main? We think he's the mastermind.
Also,
it's just not something you should be concerning yourselves with at the moment. Something like that.
We don't know anything about them personally, but now we know some personal information about the distiller that might unlock actual emotion.
Now,
also, we always asked them vague questions rather than pointed ones, I suppose. So we got vague answers. Now I suppose we can be a bit more specific.
Is it worth asking those questions via candle so that you are a long way away? Or do you want to see
They don't have a
Because he's
candle.
given the candle
They don't have a
to...
candle.
We forgot to give them a
Also,
candle.
part of
Brilliant.
me-
That went well.
And now
Also,
the
Cass,
candle has
don't-
gone to...
Yep.
Part of me doesn't want to go back to the Malt Masters until we've been to loads of places that we want to go, such as Shiverspire, such as Phaliad, Montagne,
man.
Deluin,
Yeah.
because every time we go, we get another mission that detracts us from what we're trying to do with the prophecy.
And also, we could come back with, we could go up to them like, "Oh, we've just been
6
to
more
River."
levels.
Yeah, like we've been to River's End and we heard this, and they're like, "Oh no, that's nonsense. This is this," and we're like, "Yes, but
We
what
corroborated
you?"
the story in Deluin.
Exactly that we could hide that piece of information and be like, "I think you're telling a lie there."
If
Or-
Kirik was a trickery cleric, we would just go to the Malt Masters, and I would just give the second candle to the Malt Masters. That would be
I
like.
thought you had a
Let's do it anyway.
sorry,
Shitty.
I thought you had a number of candles.
Nah, it's 2 candles.
Was it 2 candles? I
Yeah.
swear it was like a number of candles and one was the main
Not
one.
4
but I-
candles.
No, yeah,
Not 4
I
candles.
miss. It was kind of like I misunderstood
Yeah.
what was in there.
I think
I remember
that makes
making
a lot
that
of
joke
sense.
when we were talking about candles.
3,
so-
there was only meant to be 2.
Yeah, that was it. I seem to remember 3, and I was like, yeah, this doesn't seem to make sense. So, yeah, it's an interesting one.
So let's not go back to the Malt Masters for a while.
To be
We
honest,
can
no.
cast sending to them and be like, well, we just heard this. Well, what the fuck? Please explain. Yeah.
But also, maybe
They're not
not.
gonna.
Maybe
They're gonna-
not.
they're gonna
No,
say, "Oh,
no.
this-" Yeah.
Maybe we just go. Shit's got real. We've lost Reiko again, and what's her face in there? Can you send anyone? We are completely out of luck.
Or we could just go, don't even be accusational, just go, we've unlocked the next part of the mystery. Can we have the artifact you have, please?
That's
We
a
need
good
it.
idea. We
Well-
believe there is a specific artifact that may be required, and we are now searching for it.
They're not going to tell us they've got it,
Oh
though.
boy. We're
We could just
relying
go-
on a deception check by Kirik? Because he's the one that's going to have to lie.
Call him Captain Insight, not Captain Charisma.
It's not a lie. It's not a lie because we have unlocked
We
a
are
part
looking
of
for
the mystery and we do want the artifact.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
Well,
Just
that
take
is
it from
that
the
is
line.
that is
Check.
Anders' requirement to convince Kirik that this is the truth and not a lie.
I don't know.
Yeah.
With the inside of Kirik, he's going to be like, nah, you're bullshitting.
Also, I'll tell you what would be,
I still want that roll to happen.
it's a shame I can't use sending on your behalf because I've been with Lena long enough to imitate her voice, so I could just call the distiller as Lena, but I haven't got sending.
Oh my
It's a
god.
mental connection, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So she would
Yeah.
know. She would know.
It's not a.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not like a physical representation.
It's
of
not a phone
somebody's
call.
voice. It's a mental connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I love the thinking.
Yeah,
of
I
it.
think.
Find me a spell that does that,
Yeah.
and I'll let you do that. Absolutely.
Yeah. We just need to.
Might come-
give
might come
the-
in handy
The
with
Stillman needs to
Speak with
invent
Dead or
walkie-talkies, and I can do it. Yeah.
Yeah, next session's going to be fun.
Also, something I realised the other day:
It's,
this
last
party
time.
does not have a name.
I realized that
Every
today
party has
when
a
we were
name.
like, so
Yeah.
what's your name? And like, I'm Ander, I'm Kirik.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, your name.
I know that that Danny, you came up with the Iron Forged, which was nice. There was another one
Seems so
that
long ago now, doesn't it?
yeah, exactly. It's like, well, there's hardly any connection that I feel to that.
It took a
weirdly.
month to get there, and now it's ages ago.
Yeah. The other one that I thought, and I then realised that actually this doesn't really connect to anyone, but Dargon. But I thought it did, because not many other people have connection to the moon, or do they? Like, is there a circle of the moon? Is that
That's a
Bothrid or
druid
not?
circle.
Yeah, no. But
Yeah, that's Bothrid.
is Bothrid actually circle of the moon, or is he something else?
I think he
Then
is.
I was thinking that there's
Pretty
the
sure it's circle of the moon.
Then there was
We
the
did
sun.
Moonbeam last
You
week.
had me questioning myself then.
Anyway, I just thought that there was other connections because then I was going to be like, Moonforge, and I was like, nah, it doesn't work because that's not all inclusive. So I have
We
no.
don't need to decide now. Just maybe have.
No.
a thinking
It was
game
just a
amongst
very
yourselves.
interesting one. Yeah. I mean, again, it was like, well, maybe we're the lieutenants of the Malt Masters, but that's come and gone already.
After
Oh,
today.
Fuck
really?
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's buggered off. We're the slightly undecisive, not sure travellers from nowhere. I think
Yeah.
that rolls off the tongue. That's nice. Let's keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the indecisive court. That's what we'll be.
Decisive court. I kind of like that, to be honest. And ironically like that. Oh, man. Oh, boy.
Oh God.
The Wayward Sons.
Carry on my.
Well, wait.
Don't
I
get me
was just
started. You
singing
make me
that in
cry
my head.
again. I watched the
know,
finale of that
it was
episode.
ridiculous. I watched the
Of
end
that
of
series.
Supernatural.
Cried my eyes out.
What's it
man.
on? Supernatural.
Oh,
Yeah.
Supernatural.
Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
The season finale.
Just last like
Spoilers,
3
they,
episodes.
But they ended the series the episode before
Yeah.
the end of the series. So
Yeah.
I was a bit like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then they hit me with the final episode and I was
Yeah, they
gone.
did.
Even
It was
Rachel was gone. We were both sat in the same room just literally blubbing.
Yeah. It was.
Do you know what? The last film that made me, or the last thing I watched that made me blub like a baby?
Go on.
Onward. Have you seen Onward?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, I get that.
It's like,
Yeah.
Disney, you evil.
Yeah, all right.
To be fair, I did love that. Obviously, Onward was very much D&D based, which was very good fun. So
No, talking about Disney being emotional fuckwits, you've also got Endgame, which still, every time I watch it, makes me cry.
yeah,
And I know what's coming.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, Disney are buggers for that though. But I think as well, I'm more emotional now. I've actually got a kid, so anything with
found that.
kids and parents, I'm just like, game over, I'm done.
Oh dear.
Good stuff. Well, it is almost at the hour mark for Malt Magic and More.
It is. So maybe we need to wrap this up. Again, I'm pretty sure that we have like a billion more questions. This seems to be happening.
Yeah. But
I'm
my
sure we
brain
do.
can't think of them.
Yeah, can't think of the questions, can't think of the answers. So we're doing well. Thank you very much for tuning into Malt, Magic and More. Thank you very much. We hope that you've enjoyed this episode and we hope that you're enjoying our campaign as well. Please do tune in. There we go. Put my teeth in.
He's got feeble-minded.
Oh, we're doing so well, aren't we? Yeah, we're doing really well. Please do tune into our streams on a Monday night for the main campaign and also Wednesdays for our Malt Magic and More. Please find also our episodes on YouTube as well as in podcast format. We hope that you have enjoyed this evening and we look forward to seeing you next week.